Saturn is on the Galactic Center, 27 Sagittarius, as I talked about last month. And it stations retro Thursday, April 7th on the Galactic Center. So that it stations means, a couple weeks prior to this, as of, now when the Sun enters Aries, it's slow enough to feel grating. It's slow enough to feel like sandpaper. And here we have Saturn in Sagittarius. Why do you believe what you believe? What are you doing to manifest your vision? Are you even owning that you have imagination? Do you feel stuck with imagination? What practical steps could you employ to recover your willingness to have faith, to have a vision, to look forward, to look through, what's happening in order to see that there is a better future, to hold space that things can improve, all these things and more. And it's stationing. So we may have a little heaviness and weariness. We may feel that some people may feel that, not we, all of us, but some of us may feel that something very heavy is weighing us down and we can't seem to believe our way out of it. And we can't perhaps we can't seem to unbelieve our way out of it. Getting stuck on beliefs is part of this. Now, as I talked about last month, Saturn on the Galactic Center, Saturn is not a planet of channeling, but any planet that's going to station on the Galactic Center is potentially a source of receiving wisdom, receiving insight and inspiration. But as I said, it might be really challenging. And the layering of another layer of why it's challenging is specifically because of this square to Chiron. Chiron's about 24 Pisces at this point, and it's square to that Saturn while it slows down. Now, I've talked about this over the last year, maybe 8 months, 10 months, but I've talked about Saturn square Chiron. I even did a video for you guys on Saturn, or within the month. I think it's actually the excerpt still on YouTube. If you weren't a subscriber, then I want to look it up. But I did a thing on Saturn square Neptune, and then looking ahead to Saturn square Chiron, because Neptune's earlier in Pisces than Chiron has been. So I talked about that, but here's a tension between what should be done and you're figuring out about your beliefs and if they're helping you. That's Saturn and Sagittarius slowing down. Square Chiron and Pisces. The energy antenna tapped in to the collective's energy, the waves of energy that come from the collective. Fear, pain, doubt, disillusionment, grief, sorrow, powerlessness, whatever people are feeling in the collective, we are affected by it more and more with Neptune and Chiron and Pisces. So Saturn square Chiron, here we go. I wrote some notes. Let me just read them and then I'll talk more. This is Chiron's big story this month too. Saturn and Chiron share this story. The only way to evolve through being heart-centered is to admit vulnerability and to feel what's happening around you, then focus on feeling how that plays out and reflects what's already within you. What can be changed, transmuted, and released? ? New perspectives and conceptions on the human story, the human condition, can be brought in to change the definitions attached and the assumptions we carry and believe are true. There's a reality about the human condition, in other words, Chiron and Pisces. There's a reality about how we are called to look at videos of, Facebook videos of cute animals, because we need our hearts opened. There's a reality of the human condition that needs to be grieved right now, where we live in a world that often or sometimes or a lot of the times does not acknowledge vulnerability and looks at emotionality as weakness and the purview of women and children and the weak and the elderly. Seriously, that is a patriarchal mindset that persists in certain circles. And it's still part of what we're doing, even though, we had a black president, so racism must be over, even though, women have been liberated, even though all these things we think have changed, there's still some of these lingering things that reflect pain and divisiveness and disconnection and doubt that we are loved and lovable, and tribal separation consciousness about the other, fears about having enough love and therefore safety, security, support, material resources. There's a thing about the human condition now that is challenging beliefs. You should find, please, notice when this happens within you, that a belief you have about the way something should be is completely obviously wrong in terms of what is standing in front of you. Well, I should behave this way, but the reality is I react this way to that. The reality is the energy in there doesn't work. That's a good way to think about it. Actually,